I'm Tai Chirovsky, and I'm here for a song. 1, 2, 3, 4. My beloved monster and me, we go everywhere together.
When a raincoat that has 4 sleeves gets through all kinds of weather, she will always be the only thing that comes between me and the awful sting that comes from living in a world that's so damn mean.
My beloved monster is tough. If she wants to, she'll disrobe you.
But if you lay it down for a kiss, her little heart, it could explode. She will always be the only thing that comes between me and the awful sting that comes from living in a world that's so damn mean. Always be the only thing that comes between me and the awful sting that comes from living in a world that's so damn mean. La da 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 la da 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 da. I had gone through a series of like failed relationships and like had come out of an abusive relationship and like then swore off dating, then swore off men, then started dating again, and like gone through this whole series of like really horrible life decisions. And then I finally, like, Josh and I met, you know, I actually met his dad first at the gallery because I was working with the Millville Music Festival. And then Josh was here as well, and like we were really good friends. He came to open mic night all the time, and then like there's actually a podcast party for Brian Crawford of the River's Edge's birthday, and I came here, and Josh and I like sat on the couch talking for like 2.5 hours, and it was the first time that I had like talked to someone in a really long time and just been like, yeah, I can have this conversation like for multiple hours with you. You do not bore me to tears, and I find you really interesting, and like I want to continue this, and we make each other laugh. And so like this was a really good song for like that like romantic happening in my life, like that I wasn't really looking for or expecting, and then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, you're dating this person and you've been dating them for a while, and like things are going really well. I mean, like Josh and I are still together, and like it's still like one of our songs. And then like Josh was trying to when we first started dating, he was like, oh, let's, you know, like this is a band I really love, this is like, you know, he never comes to Pittsburgh, I want to see him before he stops touring, like can we please go see him? I'm like, yeah, sure, I don't know who this person is. And he's like, you know this song, and then sends me that song, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this song. By asking people if they've ever seen Shrek. Yeah.
And then because 90% of the people who come to my shows like have kids, so say like, have you seen Shrek? They're either kids or they're kids at heart. I should say that, or children. And almost all of them are like, yeah, I've seen Shrek, it's a great movie. And I'm like, yes, that one. You remember I want you to picture the python that gets blown up, and the little frog, and the little like giraffe animal that Shrek like turns the python snake into. I hate snakes. It's a great thing. But every time I think about that, especially the part where I play kazoo and everybody else like just sits there, I think about like, I literally see like that scene in my head. Every time I see this, every time I do this song. Yeah.
I have some thoughts about this song. So I really think the beloved monster could actually be like the angry side of the self, like the same person
right? Like we go like the way we like carry our anger or the way we carry our defense systems.
I've always read it as a like, this could be because of Shrek. Like when you're in like a really good relationship, that person is like the person who stands up for you to you. Like the person that you're like, oh, like the world is really like messing with me right now. Like I feel like crap about everything that I've gone through. And we all go through this, like job changes or life changes or, you know, career goals don't get met or whatever it is. And like that person is the person that's like, you know, she's the thing that comes between you and the awful sting of like living in a world that's really cruel. And I think that like, that's always been the point for me is like, you live in a world where you meet people, and you're lucky enough to have people who come between that, like, that cruelty that we all experience.
The self-cruelty?
Yeah.
Or
and
the world cruelty?
Kind of like self-imposed. I mean, like, there's a lot of things like social expectations that you're like, oh, I should live up to this expectation or whatever. And then, you know, you don't, or you don't want to, or you don't feel particularly attracted to whatever lifestyle it is. And suddenly you're like, oh, I'm a sellout, or like I'm a failure because I didn't live up to what society told me I should be doing. And it's like,
and then there's somebody there to be like, to stick up for you in your moment of self-doubt and weakness and say like, you don't get to talk to yourself like that.
Right.
Basically.
And like, you know, reassess your values a little bit and be like, why do you think that that's who you have to be? Like, you know, is that something that you really believe, or is that something that someone else is telling you? Because like, that's not okay, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to get prickly to fend those things off, or defend yourself or defend people. And I was thinking about this in like that negative self-talk thing, and like that.
I have my therapist calls her Brenda. Yeah, we call her Brenda. The evil voice that like does all the negative self-talk, like that way you can personify it and send it away from you.
Give it a name.
Yeah.
Naming things is crucial. Have you read or listened? I think I shared the link with you, that the War of Art.
Yes.
Stephen Pressfield. Did you listen to it? Because Brenda.
Yeah, but it's been a while.
Brenda's called The Resistance. And the Resistance. That's what Stephen Pressfield calls it.
It's very Star Wars.
It is, but it's like it's basically
kind of
the internal dialogue that is stopping you from doing your work.
Yeah, I like that. I also think that like the second verse of the song is like, it talks about how like the monster that you're, you know, that is your defense against everything because she's so like tough, is actually like really quite tender and like really quite loving. And it's just that like the part that you like, it's just that she's defending you, that she's there for you and like is protecting you from yourself or whatever. And, like, I really like that.
So like the why behind the tough is to protect.
Yeah.
And so and the protection and nurturing are the same sort of thing. So there's this nurture tender part that's saying like the monster's tough, but if you want to disrobe you, lay down for a kiss. Yeah.
And like that it just takes like you disarming her a little bit for her to be like all this tenderness, and it's like, all right, that's nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I like that idea that, you know, it's sort of like a reciprocity then, you know, like you turning around and being like, all right, I've been tough, you know, for you, and or like you've been tough for me, and now I'm gonna return that favor and like protect you so that you can be tender now. And like, I think that's a great relationship. That's a really cool thing to engage in, to have. It's nice.
And there's a trust factor, right? Like, I trust that you'll look out for my best interest, and you trust I look out for your best interest, and then we can each kind of relax a little bit because we're not in protective mode all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Vulnerability is good sometimes.
For sure.
Oh yeah. I think that's why songwriters get up on stage and are like, here, have some feelings. Because vulnerability is good for you.
It is.
Yeah. No, it's totally like being a musician for as long as I've been a musician, and like definitely struggling with like imposter syndrome. But like once I felt like like, oh, I'm really worth it as a performer. Like, the things that I have to say actually have value to other people. It gives you like, all right, we're going to talk about this vulnerability. We're going to bring it to the table.